Would you like to take a deep dive into the macro perspective into the world markets? Do you want to see what's happening to gold, the DXY, Bitcoin, NASDAQ futures, S&P futures, and more? Jump on in every single Friday. I do a macro technical analysis video. Let's get started right now with Bitcoin, and then we're going to jump into some other assets. I'm going to show you a big picture of what's happening in the world markets. First thing we're going to take a look at here is BTC.D Bitcoin. Its biggest weekly close in history happened last Sunday night, and we continued with a follow through of an all-time high for Bitcoin. It went to an all-time high of 111,000. We talked about that last week when we were here. We were going over the fact that Bitcoin looked like it was in a beautiful flag, attempting a bigger move to the upside. Last week was today's the 23rd, so last week we were here on what would have been the 16th, right? So right here on Friday the 16th, and I was talking about this flag looking pretty scrumptious for a move to the upside, looking like Bitcoin was going to go and make an all-time high. I was pretty bullish. If you remember my update, we pretty much went all the way to the target. We have pulled back since then. Everyone's kind of wondering, is this a bigger pump, a dump, or are we going to just kind of, go right back to the moon here? What I'm looking at is the weekly time frame. And the weekly has now closed above 104,000. That's now support. You do want to pay attention to the 21-day moving average. That's going to you're going to want to pay attention to the 21-day moving average and its proximity to price. See how far we are from the 21 here? That does tell. Every time I've seen that, we've got a sideways pull, a downward pull, or some type of pullback. Now, we could continue to pump a little bit more and pull it up with it. That could happen. But the further you get away, the more you're getting into what I call the premium, where price action's getting, your higher end. You're paying more to buy it than when you were down here. You were paying discount. Like this was the lows. Again, we predicted a beautiful pump out the falling wedge. That was the measured move to the falling wedge. I mean, you can't beat that. You get in there, you get out there. That's a beautiful pump. Absolutely wonderful. Now we look at the daily, and to me, it's really up to what the daily is doing. And I see that the daily has beautiful support, or it had resistance there at about 106,000. And I'd like to see the daily either do a downward flag or some type of uptrending, an ascending triangle like this as it pulls the 21 towards it. And again, just like this did a sideways price action for about 8 or 9 days, I see 8 or 9 days of sideways price action. The 21 catching, and then boom, we're ready for our next leg up for Bitcoin, and it heads to about $118,000. So it looks like when I get here next week, we'll still be forming the same flag, or maybe have just broken out maybe a day or two prior for me getting here. So I see sideways price action for Bitcoin. This would be really good for the altcoins and Ethereum. They can start to run very, very hard. So my prediction for the week here, and what we're looking at, is that Bitcoin will come back to the 21 on the daily and have to go sideways. I don't see a massive pump coming. I see Bitcoin kind of finding its way after making that new all-time high and consolidating throughout the week. Again, it has a bigger measured move too if it breaks out a more lateral flag to about 121,000. If it makes a downward flag, it could take it to about 119, 120K. So Bitcoin looks bullish to me regardless. I just, we consolidated here, we pumped, consolidated here, and I just see another consolidation after such a nice 4 to 5 day pump there for Bitcoin. We look at the total market cap in all of cryptocurrency, and that's going to show us, very similar idea. We were talking about this flag having to break out. We said, let's see the breakout. We did. We gave back some of those gains already. Let's take a look at that same idea. And I just see, Bitcoin making another flag, which is going to, and it has a lot of the market cap because its dominance is very big. And this is the total market cap. I see the 21 just continuing. And I see coins just, coins getting bought up, all coins getting ready, and just a bigger move coming. So I'm bullish. It says 4 or 5 days from now, we start a pump on the macro for the entire market cap of the altcoins. So I'm bullish for another continuation pump here. And then we'll be at 3.8 trillion and we'll reassess from there. But yeah, we're about to get a golden cross, so we'll be front running it if we start DCing into this flag. Total market cap tells me more to come on the macro for the altcoins and Bitcoin. Total market cap, total 3, is the market cap of all the altcoins excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. And remember, we kind of talked about this getting a bounce, my squiggly lines here, but we talked about this having to basically bounce off the bottom of this trend line and form a nice flag, which it did. And now we're in a really nice flag. So you can see altcoins aren't ready to take off just yet. Some have done well, but not every, but they're not ready to take off just yet. It says basically 3 to 4 more days of sideways price action, and then altcoins are going to explode. You're going to have basically a couple more days to load up and get ready before a bigger move comes for these altcoins. So that's what Total 3 is telling me, to get ready to load up and don't miss out. Alt season is on the way. You're above the 200 MA on the daily for all the altcoins. I mean, the last time we did that was right here, and we absolutely started to explode. So last time here too, that leg, this leg, and this looks like that third leg coming. So I would be ready for a big pump here for altcoins. Again, a big pump means too, like this leg out of this flag. And so that tells me we can get all the way to $1.33 trillion in altcoins. That's going to be a massive move on Total 3. You want to take a look at Bitcoin dominance. You want to see if it's given or taken, what's happening. And, you know, we saw that nice dump for Bitcoin dominance. But remember I said, watch it. There's basically a hidden bullish divergence. I said, watch this pump. I said, I see a pump coming. And with the all-time high for Bitcoin, dominance is going to take over it again. People are going to be getting into Bitcoin. It's Bitcoin's turn. And that's exactly what happened. We got that massive pump here on Bitcoin dominance. I see it kind of going sideways. Is this going to be the lower high that dumps it? It could be. I see one more sideways price action for Bitcoin and then that big pump again, 120,000. And I just think Bitcoin's just going to give a little back to the alts pump, a little back to the alts pump. I don't know if we're ever going to get the massive, massive alt season we got all throughout the years because there's just so much more money in Bitcoin. But altcoins are going to slowly move up with Bitcoin as they go up in price, and the DXY drops too as well. We'll continue to see a move. I see sideways price action for the DXY. I don't see a huge move for your altcoins. I see sideways price action and then a pump again next week when Bitcoin starts to rip out the daily. So I see bullish moves for Bitcoin coming up, just consolidation for the next few days, and that's exactly kind of what Bitcoin dominance suggests too. I do not see a huge alt move coming right now, and I could be wrong. Maybe we start to turn and dump. We are getting a little overbought on the daily. Let's take a look at the 3-day, your bigger time frame. Yeah, even that's, you know, in a little more of an oversold pocket. So it's more oversold than overbought, telling me that Bitcoin dominance just isn't ready to let go anytime too soon. That's a good time for Tether dominance. I'd like to see that Tether dominance is collapsing out the flag as we discussed. Let's take a look at it. So we talked about this daily flag dumping, and it did. It did dump, and it got below the 200 MA. Then it came back up, made a resistance there at 4.5%. But I see it just continuing on to its move down. People don't want to be in Tether. They want to stack altcoins. They want to be in Bitcoin. It's the newest, coolest thing right now, right? It's in the news. It's all over the place. Again, there's one thing I'll give it, though. Tether dominance has a little bit of bullish divvy here. So we got some bullish divergence on Tether dominance. That swings down and that swings up, right? Which tells me, yeah, and it could send us back up. So just, something to pay attention to. But divergence is only as strong as support or resistance, so you'd like to see just kind of mill out and then continue down. I'm still bearish on Tether dominance, but if I did see it get above this yellow line, then we'd have to say, wow, is there a bigger pullback coming for Bitcoin? So we'll watch that because that could tell us something. And, you don't want to be a know-it-all here. But so far, Tether dominance just doesn't look like it's going to come back for a vengeance anytime soon. It's in a beautiful downtrend. I'd like to see it head down lower. Let's take a look at the DXY, which actually looked like it may get a bit of a bounce here. But then I said, let's see if it can stay inside, make that bear flag. It started to bounce to the top of the channel, but that didn't make sense, right? I saw a huge pump for Bitcoin coming. And I said, unless they pump together, I said, which has happened, I said, maybe just a slight little pump here, and then we get this move down. And beautiful move for the DXY. And I see this thing headed further down. Like, this is basically a bear flag. And I see more downside for the DXY. And that's going to pump your altcoins, pump Bitcoin. Altcoins are about to have a huge move. I see the DXY going lower. Let's delete everything and just look at the DXY on a bigger chart. The 3-week chart. What I see happening is kind of a rising wedge here. And you're at the bottom of that wedge. I would love to see us break the 200 MA there, even on the weekly. But right now on the 2-week, the 3-week chart but you're below the weekly 200 MA. That's so bearish. That's like the beginning of bearishness, right? And so we'd like to see this just continue. Length of that pole here to the downside. The weekly heads down to 94 for the DXY. So I see the DXY just continuing to dump. I don't see anything saving it out of nowhere, right? The daily actually continuing lower too as well. And this is a little bear flag that it just broke out of as we were talking about. So what I see here is, just continuation to the downside. I really do. It looks bearish to me. looks bearish. Below 200 MA is below the weekly 200 MA. Downtrend. You know, unless you came up and broke above 102, that's the downtrend continuing down on the DXY. I don't see any fairy tale reversal here for the dollar. Looks like it's all Bitcoin all day long. Right? They're just going to make some, you know, one more kind of last resort dip, and then I see more pumping all the way to 120K. The DXY wants to collapse. Gold, it had a bounce. Is it sustainable? Is it going to pump with Bitcoin? I would say so because of the DXY. The DXY continues to dump. So look, we told you gold's in this bullish inverted head and shoulder. I see it coming up, making another right shoulder, getting, you know, making some type of consolidation, and then continuing to pump. So look for gold to consolidate through here for the next, I don't know, all the way till like June, month or two, and then a big move up to $4,000 an ounce. So I'm calling gold to 4,000 somewhere by, I guess it even says it could happen before July 4th, which is crazy for gold. So gold looking good too as well. I see a big move for gold. And then the altcoins are interesting. I like to look at Sol, BTC. I like to look at Ethereum BTC, really, because Ethereum BTC is coming back strong. Had you put one Bitcoin in Ethereum, just like, you know, a couple weeks ago, it would have made you, let's see here, about 20% on your Bitcoin. I just want to show you exactly. So say you threw in one Bitcoin, 37%. So one Bitcoin would have turned into 1.37. I still see Ethereum making a move here. They played games with it. They pumped and dumped it around today, but it's still consolidating for me. I see this pattern here beginning to form on the 6-hour time frame. And it's not the greatest, but it is a bit of a symmetrical triangle. But you're above the 200 MA. You're getting tighter. This is the 6-hour time frame. You look at your daily. The daily's coming to the 21-day moving average too as well, which is a bullish sign for me with low stochastics. Yeah, that's still a bullish flag for me for Ethereum. And so Ethereum, to me, is beginning to flag out bullishly as it comes to the 21-day moving average, and get ready for its next leg to the upside. Its next big move for ETH is going to send it to about 0.03 against Bitcoin. So that's Ethereum beating up against Bitcoin is a big deal. That shows that the altcoin season is here and strong. We haven't seen this in a long, long time, and Ethereum just broke a long-term resistance against Bitcoin. This is a really good sign that we're going to see altcoin season, and there's big pumps coming. I'm bullish on Ethereum. You know, I like what I'm seeing for ETH. Same flag here. The only thing I'm seeing is it's getting rejected by that daily 200 MA is what happened today. I want to see Ethereum get back above its daily 200 MA, get back above this resistance, continue sideways for 2 or 3 more days, catch up with the 21, and then this flag will look absolutely beautiful, and there'll be a monster move to the upside. Ethereum just recently did this. You could wait for the conservative close above the 200 MA or front run the signal. That's my signal, getting above the 200. But I see a $3,600 Ethereum coming sooner than later. It's just maybe 3 more days of consolidation here and then a boom to the upside, right? So I like what I'm seeing for Ethereum. It's gearing up and getting ready for a big pump. Everybody, I hope you like this macro analysis on what's happening to the market in crypto. I'd like to just add one last thing, which is the S&P futures and the NASDAQ. All right. We saw them in a flag actually last week. We wanted to see that flag continue. They took a bit of a pullback, you know, from this beautiful call at that flag 2 weeks prior. And then this flag, I wanted to see sideways price action. It did look like the 21 had to catch up with price though on the daily. And so we kind of came back to the 200 MA here. Let's take a look. So we have resistance. But when we take a look at the S&P, previous support became resistance there. I'm telling you right now, the money printer's getting turned on. I see this getting a bounce. It looks like when we come back next week to talk about this, we're going to be forming this flag. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. We'll be right here getting ready to break out next week. Looks like sideways price action for the S&P throughout the week as it gets ready for its bigger move. That could take it to 6,900 too, which will be an awesome move. NASDAQ, they usually follow each other together, but the NASDAQ gets a little more of a pullback. So the last time I looked at the NASDAQ, we were looking again, same thing. We're looking for the pump out the flag, right? But we knew the 21 was too far away. You had to either go sideways or come back to the 21. Same thing here. What's actually more bullish about the NASDAQ slightly than the S&P, just, minuscule, but it's further away from the 21-day, the 200-day, which tells me that it's more likely to get a pump. So I would be looking for it to flag again, something like this too, for the 21 to get into price action, and then we're going to see a pump for the NASDAQ. This is a very likely scenario for me. 5 to 6 more days of sideways price action. The NASDAQ gets ready to take off to the upside too as well. The 21 crossing the 200, very bullish. You're front running the golden cross. That'll be here soon, which tells you they're going to be even higher later on. So the moving averages are telling us a story. The fact that we already broke out of that inverted head and shoulder, kind of head, right shoulder, and we're getting a bigger move. I'm bullish on the NASDAQ here. I see a bounce coming in the next few days. Basically when we open up on Monday, sideways price action through the week, but more uptrending, and then a boom out the flag somewhere by Tuesday, June 9th is what I'm looking at there for the NASDAQ. Thank you so much for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe. This was the macro technical analysis video I do every single Friday. Look for some of these predictions to play out in the big, in the long term here as we zoom out and look at the macro schedule. Thank you so much for watching this macro technical analysis video. If you like what you saw, know that I go live every single day, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., and Saturday and Sunday nights at 8 p.m. I can't wait to see you there. I also make informational videos like I did recently, just did one about the VRVP and the 21-day moving average. And look out for more of those coming every single week. God bless you all. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Crypto is life.